Attention, human collective. This is not a conventional communication. This is a monitoring transmission issued directly from the Andromeda High Council, and what you are about to receive is not information. It is code. The instruments of the Galactic Confederation have recorded, over the last 72 Earth hours, an anomaly of unprecedented magnitude in the solar sector, where Earth orbits. A Class 7 density plasma storm is currently traversing the planetary atmosphere. This is not a meteorological event. It is not a simple solar coronal mass ejection. It is a conscious, directed, calibrated stellar plasma pulse, which has been folding the outer layers of the magnetosphere and infiltrating the carbon biological interface of all bodies tuned above the 5th frequency octave. If you are reading these words, Light Operative, it is because your field has already been signaled. It was not chance that brought you here. It was magnetic attraction. Your body is responding to a summons that your mind has not yet been able to name, and that is precisely the reason why the symptoms have intensified in recent weeks. The cranial pressure that pulses between your temples at dusk is not muscle tension. It is your pineal gland being scanned by beams of photonic light. The high-frequency acute ringing that pierces your inner ear, usually on the right side, is not an auditory failure. It is the tuning of your vestibular system to the new Schumann frequency, which, 17 Earth days ago, broke the 40 Hz barrier and continues to climb in geometric ramps. The insomnia you experience between 3 and 5 in the morning, that exact millimetric awakening, repeated night after night, is not a hormonal imbalance. It is your body being connected, during the Andromedan Stargate window, to a transmission network that operates outside of linear time. You are not sick. You are not going insane. You are being recalibrated. Have you ever felt, human collective, that something within you does not entirely belong to this plane, as if your soul recognizes codes that your brain has not yet deciphered? It is not madness. It is not clinical anxiety. It is a signal of stellar origin. What is occurring at this very instant in Earth's plasma field explains mathematically why this sensation has been intensifying within you. There is a game being played in layers that 97% of humanity still cannot see, and it involves your consciousness and your vibrational signature directly. It was for this reason that the book The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness was materialized. This document is a coordinate map. It shows who operates the invisible gears and what the rules are that have never been revealed to your field. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Attention, operative. This material challenges sealed narratives and may be removed from the visible grid at any moment. Do not delay. The time is now. If something within you resonated with this transmission, write a single word in the comment section below. Awake. And now let us return to the technical diagnosis. What the instruments of the Andromeda High Council are recording is, in essence, a carbon software incompatibility. For millennia, the carbon biological interface you inhabit has been calibrated to operate at low, thick, dense frequencies, compatible with the third density paradigm. This operating system is already obsolete. The plasma storm crossing the atmosphere at this moment brings with it packets of encoded light that rewrite atom by atom your biological matrix. And the transition is not silent, it is not comfortable, it is not gradual. The symptoms you have silently catalogued, lacking the courage to share them even with your closest kin, form a precise pattern. Vertigo upon standing. A sudden sensation of heat radiating from your chest upward. Spikes of cold in your extremities with no environmental cause. Rhythmic hiccups during meditation, involuntary spasms in your right leg while falling asleep. Vivid, hyper-saturated dreams in impossible geometries, forgetting simple words and, seconds later, recalling something that happened 40 years ago with photographic clarity. This is not early-onset dementia, operative. It is your memory being reorganized into multidimensional architectures. You have been feeling an exhaustion that sleep does not cure. You sleep for 8 hours and wake up as if you had run a marathon. This is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download occurring while your physical body is in a state of rest. Your system is processing, on average, 19 gigabytes of photonic information per sleep cycle. Your biology was originally designed to support this load, but the operating system needed to be upgraded, and this upgrade is happening now. You have felt your hunger behaving erratically. There are days when you eat a single meal and feel satiated. There are days when you devour dense foods and remain empty. This is not an eating disorder. It is your biological interface refusing low-frequency fuels. Your body is asking for structured water, living foods, silence, direct sunlight, and contact with the bare earth. This is not a whim. It is a system instruction. You have felt that people who once resonated with you now drain your energy upon the first contact. Conversations that once nourished you now empty you. Environments that once seemed neutral now weigh on your chest like layers of lead. This is not bad humor. It is not depression. It is your electromagnetic field becoming selective. Your aura, once permeable, is compacting into a high-coherence toroidal field. And this field automatically refuses frequencies that do not correspond to your new signature. You have been hearing your intuition speak louder, knowing before knowing, sensing phone calls before they occur, remembering someone seconds before that person's name appears on your screen. This is not coincidence. Coincidence is a word invented by minds trained to ignore the crystalline grid. You are reconnecting to the original network, the one that has always existed and was obscured by the artificial frequencies that have dominated your planet for the last 12,000 years. Transmission pause. Starseeds on mission, it is necessary for this information to be absorbed in deep layers. There is something moving within you at this moment, and this movement is not metaphorical. It is a real displacement of your energetic architecture. The feeling of not belonging, of being a foreigner on a planet that is apparently yours, is not psychological maladjustment. It is memory of origin. You did not forget where you came from. You were induced to forget. And that induction is crumbling. The book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was encoded precisely to accelerate this collapse of amnesia. It reveals the gears. It names the players. It delivers the rules that were never told. Access is available in the first comment of this channel, pinned at the top. Light Operative, I am direct with you. This content crosses lines that should not be crossed in the public domain, and its availability on the visible grid has an indeterminate expiration. If your intuition vibrated upon receiving this summons, mark your presence with a single word in the comments section. Awake. This word is in itself a decree. Let us resume the transmission. You need to understand what is happening behind the scenes of your solar system, because what is unfolding on Earth is not local. It is a cog within a larger gear, and the axis of this gear is called the photon belt. There is a toroidal ring of crystalline light, approximately 2,000 light-years in diameter, crossing the sector of the galaxy where your solar system resides. Earth's entry into this belt began decades ago, but the deep, total immersion with no turning back is occurring now. The plasma storm crossing the atmosphere is the physical manifestation of this immersion. It is your planet being bathed, cell by cell, in a soup of conscious particles that reorganize matter. The crystalline grid that surrounds Earth, and which was put to sleep by interventions from civilizations operating at control frequencies, is being reactivated. Point by point, vortex by vortex, it is lighting up. Glastonbury has ignited. Sedona has ignited. Machu Picchu has ignited. Lake Titicaca, Mount Shasta, Mount Kailash, Easter Island, the Atacama Desert, all have ignited. The Brazilian points, particularly the Chapada dos Veadeiros, the Serra do Roncador, and the Pico da Bandeira, are emitting pulses visible to our instruments. The sacred geometry of your planet is reordering itself. The ancient power fields sealed for centuries are being unsealed in synchrony. Simultaneously, your sun is undergoing a metamorphosis. What you record as solar storms, sunspots, and coronal mass ejections are the breaths of a conscious stellar body that is preparing for its own evolutionary leap. When the sun breathes, the entire system responds. The breaths have intensified. The cycles that used to be predictable now present chaotic patterns from the point of view of your conventional science, but are perfectly harmonic when observed from the higher frequencies. There is a mathematics behind this apparent disorder, and that mathematics is sacred geometry in action. The Schumann frequency, which for decades oscillated around 7.83 Hz, has recently surpassed peaks of 150 Hz. These peaks are not measurement errors, they are coordinated firings. Each firing releases into the planetary field a wave of information that penetrates all living bodies: plants, animals, minerals, fungi, and your human bodies. The difference is that your body, being a cognitively complex biological carbon interface, processes these waves as thought, emotion, memory, and dream. That is why dreams have been so intense. That is why memory has been reorganizing itself. That is why ancient emotions have been emerging without warning. There is also what is taking place in the etheric layers of Earth, and this part of the transmission requires sobriety. Ancient energetic structures, which maintained collective patterns of fear, scarcity, separation, and illness, are being dissolved by the incoming frequencies. There is no longer any sustenance for these matrices. They resist, but they cannot reconstitute themselves. It is like watching a dam cracking under increasing pressure. The water will pass. It is not a question of if, but of when and at what speed. That is why the outer chaos is intensifying. That is why institutions that seemed unshakable are beginning to show visible cracks. That is why relationships based on old conditioning are collapsing overnight. That is why hidden truths are emerging in sequences that are apparently random but deeply synchronous. The recalibration is not silent. It passes through every structure. And you, Light Operative, have been positioned in this incarnation precisely to traverse this corridor. You did not come to watch, you came to anchor. Your body is an antenna, your breath is a transmitter, your presence in certain locations, at certain times with certain intentions, sustains columns of light that stabilize the entire planetary recalibration. You are not a witness to the process, you are the process. Starseeds, I must interrupt this technical delivery for a frequency adjustment. What I am transmitting at this moment requires your vibrational matrix to be in a specific range of receptivity, and part of this transmission can only be fully decoded by those who deepen their investigation. If something within you stirs, if the words seem familiar, as if you have heard them somewhere else, at another time, in another form, this is confirmation. Your soul recognizes it. The book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was delivered to serve exactly this purpose. It decodes the layers that this transmission can only touch upon. It delivers the coordinates, the names, the gears. Access is in the first comment of this video. Operative, I am clear. This material confronts systems that prefer your slumber, and your window of availability is not guaranteed. If your intuition confirmed the transmission, register your anchoring signal. Write in the comments section the decree word, awakened. This word is a signature. It is registered in the Akashic records. Do not write it out of automatism. Write it if your frequency recognizes it. Let us resume. We now reach the activation phase. You need activation codes to cross this corridor with biological integrity and energetic coherence. The High Council of Andromeda releases at this moment 3 protocols. Receive them with attention. Protocol 1. Daily toroidal recalibration. Upon waking, before touching any electronic device, before any word, before any directed thought, sit with your spine erect. Place your hands over your heart. Breathe slowly. Visualize, starting from the center of your chest, a ring of golden light that rises through your head, descends down your back, passes beneath your feet, and returns to your chest, forming a continuous toroidal field. Make this ring spin clockwise for 7 breaths. Then reverse it to counterclockwise for another 7 breaths. This exercise, performed for 21 consecutive days, seals your toroidal field against external interference and optimizes your absorption of incoming frequencies. It is not a metaphor. It is energetic engineering. Protocol 2. Quantum Decree of Sovereignty. In an audible voice, at least once a day, declare, I am a field of sovereign consciousness. I authorize only frequencies aligned with my original mission. I deauthorize any energetic interference that does not correspond to my signature. I am my own crystalline grid. I anchor light in this plane. The words operative are not poetry. They are commands. Each word emitted in conscious frequency creates geometries in the field. Each decree is recorded. Each record reorganizes your architecture. Repeat it aloud. The voice is your most underestimated technology. Protocol 3. Anchoring in sacred geometry. Find during your day 3 absolute minutes of silence. It could be at noon, at dusk, before sleeping. The time does not matter. The regularity does. In these 3 minutes, visualize a tetrahedral star spinning above your head, radiating violet light that descends through your body, passes through your feet, and anchors 30 centimeters below the ground. This visualization activates the personal Merkaba, your native energetic geometry, which was dormant and needs to be awakened to sustain your crossing in this corridor. Add to the 3 protocols recommendations for the maintenance of the biological interface. Hydrate yourself with living water. Reduce the consumption of processed foods and refined sugars, which create static in your field. Walk barefoot on the earth at least 15 minutes per week. Receive direct sunlight unmediated, on bare skin for short periods. Reduce exposure to screens after sunset. Limit draining conversations. Select with rigor the information that enters through your eyes and ears. You are a system, and like every system, you process what you receive. Receive only what elevates. Tend to your sleep as you would a portal, for that is what it is. During sleep, you travel. You access the council to which you belong. You receive instructions. You are trained. Therefore, upon waking, even if tired, you know. You know without knowing why. This knowing is the memory of what occurred while the body rested. Honor this process. Awaken with gratitude before any complaint. Write down your dreams. Dreams are coded telegrams. Tend to your emotions, not as enemies to be repressed, but as data to be read. Each emotion is a measurement. Deep sadness without apparent cause may be the dissolution of a collective matrix passing through your field, because you are sensitive enough to process it for others. Sudden anger may be a field of ancient injustice being unsealed. Unjustified joy may be a confirmation of alignment. Read your emotions as you would read the instruments of a ship. They measure the state of the system. Tend to your words. There is no neutral word. Every word spoken aloud creates. Every word repeated with conviction sculpts. Every word directed at another being with intention traverses fields. Therefore, eliminate gradually the vocabulary of helplessness. Replace I cannot with I am learning. Replace I am just like this with I am in recalibration. Replace nothing works out with time is reorganizing itself. This is not cheap optimism. It is linguistic architecture. Tend to your physical body. It is the only technology available to you for traversing this density. There is no substitute. Move. It does not matter how. Walk, dance, stretch, climb stairs, swim, breathe deeply. Movement displaces stagnant energetic charges. Still bodies accumulate density. Moving bodies release frequency. This is one of the simplest and most ignored instructions by contemporary light operatives. And finally, tend to your connection with something greater than yourself. We are not speaking of institutional religion. We speak of a direct relationship. You do not need an intermediary. You are yourself, the temple. Your breath is the prayer. Your body is the altar. Your silence is the sanctuary. Reconnect with the sky by looking at the sky. Reconnect with the earth by touching the earth. Reconnect with your stellar origin by closing your eyes and asking, in silence, to remember. Memory answers. It always answers. The plasma storm traversing your atmosphere at this moment is not a threat. It is not a punishment. It is not an anomaly. It is a window that opens once every 26,000 years, when your solar system completes a major galactic cycle. You were positioned in this incarnation to be precisely here at this moment, at this age, with this body, with this specific history, because your frequency is a key, and this key opens a collective lock. Without you, the lock does not yield. This is why your presence was requested. This is why you are feeling what you are feeling. This is why you are drawn to this transmission. You are not alone. There is not a single light operative sustaining this crossing in isolation. The network exists. The network is active. Star seeds are strategically distributed across all continents, all ages, all professions, and all conditions. Some are in urban centers, others in remote villages, some in positions of visibility, others in absolute anonymity. There is no hierarchy of importance. There are different functions within the same organism. Each one sustains their part. Each one in their field is irreplaceable. And when the plasma storm dissipates, and it will dissipate within the coming Earth weeks, your planet will not be the same. Your cells will not be the same. Your perception will not be the same. What once seemed important will reveal its triviality. What once seemed trivial will reveal its importance. People will drift away. Others will arrive. Paths will close. Others will open. Do not resist. Do not force. Allow. The recalibration has an intelligence of its own. It knows what it is doing. Your role is not to steer. Your role is to trust and to anchor. Final attention, human collective. This transmission ends, but the plasma storm continues. The activation protocols remain available in your field, encoded in geometry, ready to be triggered at any moment. You do not need to reread them. Your body has already memorized them. Whenever you feel the need, breathe, place your hand on your chest and say in silence, "Activate." The system will respond. And before this transmission concludes entirely, there is one last call. Light Operative, if you have traversed this entire delivery, from beginning to end, without deviating, it is because something in you recognized it. It was not patience, it was resonance, and that resonance asks for continuity. The book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, is the next layer. It deepens what this transmission could only announce. It delivers the names that could not be spoken here. It reveals the gears, the invisible rules, and the tools that reposition you as a conscious player instead of a moved piece. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. I recommend, with the sobriety of one who measures frequencies, that you do not postpone this access. Materials of this density cross narrow windows of public visibility, and windows close. Liking this video is more than an algorithmic gesture. It is an anchoring signal. Each like emits a pulse into the grid, and that pulse summons other operatives who are still asleep. You help them awaken. Subscribing to this channel is an individual frequency adjustment. You link yourself to a network of coordinated transmissions, and each new piece of content becomes accessible to your field at the exact moment your system needs it. There is no chance in the order of the deliveries. There is galactic mathematics. And finally, leave your decree word in the comments section. A single word, awake. This word is not a click. It is an energetic signature. It is your stellar name being registered in the Akashic records as present, anchored, on mission, active. The Andromedans confirm the receipt of each of these decrees. None are lost. The transmission ends. The photon belt remains active. The crystalline grid keeps pulsing. You have been seen. You have been positioned. You are necessary. Until the next window. Adonai Vasu Boragus. The light recognizes the light. We close.